What is up, good people? Jungle Link here. Hope you're doing well. I'm seeing a lot of people talking about Cardano and that basically the ecosystem is dead. And the price action hasn't been great. But if you've been through crypto cycles, you understand, various sectors of crypto will fire off at different times. Coins you thought were dead will erupt, and the hottest thing since sliced bread will start to die off. That's why you want to have a little bit of coverage here, and I think Cardano is still one of the crypto assets you want. When we look at the ecosystem, it's one of the most actively developed out there. We're seeing significant upgrades since last bull run in terms of scalability, in terms of governance, and also interoperability. All very important areas for a blockchain to improve. What I think will happen as this crypto bull run gets in full swing, and we will see a ton of transactions hitting that Ethereum blockchain. Now, it's vastly improved from the past, but it's going to be a slog at some point. And in many ways, that's just a testament to Ethereum and how much volume and, really transactions take place on that chain. But it's going to slog down. Just general payment might cost you 11 cents and, be completed in 15 seconds right now. That ain't going to hold for the duration of this bull run. It will become crazy town again. And like we saw last time, the ecosystems that are ready to deliver are going to benefit in a big way. Last time you saw Ethereum really slow down, become very expensive, and a lot of that activity, where did it go? Onto Binance, the Binance Smart Chain. People needed, cheap, efficient ways to do their yield farming and other activities they wanted to do. You had Avalanche, step up, and then also, obviously, Solana, which is still around now. Last time around, Cardano, Polkadot, some of these other, chains were just starting to build out their ecosystems, introduce smart contracts, and have decentralized exchanges and start to launch projects. We saw that with both Cardano and with Polkadot. They just weren't ready at the start of that bull run. This time around, Cardano set up, and I think that's when you will see, a flood of activity start coming over. When we get into a crazed environment and people need alternatives, those blockchains that are ready to service those users' needs, they're going to see big growth. Cardano set up nicely for that. Who's getting ready for that, eventual environment we will find ourselves? Well, I think developer activity is one great metric to look at. Cardano is always one of the leaders there. I don't care what anyone says, governance is very important. And I like that Cardano's really focusing on that in a big way. If you're going to have a sustainable blockchain that's going to meet the diverse needs of a global user base, you need to have governance. It's just absolutely imperative. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Of course, there's going to be fierce competition out there. There's a lot of great layer one smart contract blockchains. No one's really trying to make the next Bitcoin, the next XRP, but everyone wants to roll out a layer one smart contract blockchain, and partially because, none of these are ready for scale yet. And if you can solve those problems, if you can onboard the user base, you can capture gaming, NFTs, and most of your use cases like DeFi within blockchain. It's wide open there. You can overcome network effect if you have a scalable solution that can meet the needs of billions of users. No one knows how to do that yet. Everyone's trying to solve those problems, and Cardano has a really, novel approach. Now, another thing that kind of holds them back here is they do have a very slow pace. They're very methodical. This academic approach where everything's researched and studied and these papers are released, and that stops you from running into roadblocks, but you're never going to be on the cutting edge. You're never going to have the hypiest features or the newest capabilities, but you're also not going to have catastrophic disaster. If they do this right, I think the best analogy, and people hate when I bring this up because I've talked about it many, many times, is when you look at how Google really steamrolled Yahoo. They had a strong foundation. It took them longer to get rolling, but once they did, they were able to stack on features and scale easier. And I think that's kind of what they're shooting for here. Do they execute that or not really long term is only time will tell, but we'll find out. Now, here's what I see also going on is you have a lot of new entrants, next generation blockchains that have some really amazing capability. You have Near, you have Sui, you have FLR. These are some amazing chains for sure. But I think Cardano and some of the older entrants have more developed ecosystems and a longer track record. And so I think we'll see at different times those newer entrants fire off in a big way. But eventually it'll circle back around and you will see great performance from your Polkadots, your Cardanos specifically, your Avalanches. They're going to drive value here. Cardano will be included eventually when we have sector investing with ETFs. They'll have smart contract ETFs where big time investors go, you know what, I don't know who's going to win this section, just give me the whole field of the major players. Cardano will be in there. It will be weighted significantly. I think that will help. So again, I wouldn't have everything in Cardano, especially be my only layer one smart contract play here. It may take a while to develop, but I think it eventually will deliver significant gains this bull run. You just have to be patient. I suspect early on when things get really ripping and roaring, people are looking for the next Solana, which again will be those nears, things like Sui and Flare. But eventually when you start actually onboarding people to your blockchain and you need those developed ecosystems so people can really use your system, out of those newer entries, Near probably has the most developed ecosystem. But if you look at Sui, as cool of a chain as that is, the capabilities, I mean, it ain't ready, man. You ain't going to onboard a bunch of people to that chain. I think that's where your more established players will start to get traction. So I think you have to break up the smart contract, sector block of investments into some different categories, some of your newer ones, which are your favorite, and some of the more established. And of course, Cardano's been around a long time. It's went all the way down to a couple cents and came firing up to a few dollars, over $3. So it's not one to ignore. It's not one to discard. Cardano's still doing great work, and it will have value for sure. Let me know what you think down below. Are you still holding Cardano? Do you have the ADA token in your portfolio? And do you think it will eventually, before it's all said and done, perform in this bull run? As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.